Hello, nerds and people who like nerds. It is I, the Nerd Pope King, here to welcome you to the month of Spooktober. As we learned a few days ago, there are the Screaming Tunnels. A tunnel built through a short hill to allow farmers ease of access to transport their wares from one side to the other. And legend says one night the tunnel was on fire and a woman burned to death alive. And to this day, some can still hear her death screams. Together, I went to visit this tunnel with my friend Odenhammer and my friend Mr. Steele. We wanted to examine why the sound would come through the screaming tunnels, but we heard nothing. Now, where we live, it can get very windy. The first year I was here, I was on my bicycle, going towards the wind. And no word of a lie, my feet were moving, the pedals were spinning, the wheels were spinning, and yet I went nowhere. My second year here, the wind was so violent, we could not go outside. We could hear the screams and howls of the wind as it rattled the windows. Garage doors were ripped from their hinges. Shingles were torn from roofs. And the cart caddy at the local Walmart rolled through the parking lot to overtop all the parked cars. But today there was no wind. Now, I figure the screams could come from a phantom. After all, I could see scorch marks from long ago on the stones that make the inside of the tunnel. But there was no scream. As there was no wind, I suppose that when the wind is high, there is a whistle effect from the shapes of the stones lining the ceiling and the walls. Or perhaps the culvert at the end of the tunnel would create a flute effect. Well, as you can see, there is much graffiti indicating the youths of the area will come here to do their nefarious youth activities. We were all young once. You know what I mean. Now at the end of this tunnel, we see there is a path that leads up a hill. There's a path that leads to the woods, and there's a path that returns from the woods. My tour guide told me this path circles around. There's nothing to see. He also told me that sometimes you can smell something foul, and he believes there's a methane deposit nearby. I pointed out that there is algae growing here, and that sometimes algae blooms can create a stench. Well, there was nothing eerie, nothing ghastly happening here. Nothing suspicious except maybe the cross left on the ground and the paint that said, "Help me." But there's no doubt that was just children having fun. The tunnel is not in use today. It is just an attraction and not a popular one. The street that leads us to the tunnel is mostly a dead end. On one side of the tunnel, there's a vineyard. On the other side, a private residence, and the street ends in a cul-de-sac that will just turn you around because no doubt you are lost if you are here. Before I left, the local resident came out of their car. I approached and asked, "This tunnel is known as the Screaming Tunnel. Have you ever heard the screams?" She smiled and told me only when the kids are there. You know, teenagers, youths. They come at night to drink, to smoke, to scare each other. And that's the only time I've heard screams. This supports my theory that it's just a legend. But at the same time, I was there during the day. Now, if you believe I should go back at night, perhaps at the witching hour, I will do so. If you think there are other hauntings in the Niagara region that you would like to see, let me know in the comments. Perhaps I will visit them. Perhaps I will bring a sleeping bag. And perhaps I will not return. But that is for us to see in the future, for you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me today on this exploration of a haunting here where I live. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that this month of Spooktober leaves you alive by the end, despite any hauntings or scares that you might find. Be fright-free and know that this world is not all there is. And once we leave this world, you will find something far more beautiful and incredible than you can imagine. Because just beside us, at all times, there is another place. There is a bright place of colors, shapes, and love. And there is a dark place that I hope will never find you. Be well, my friends, and enjoy the month of Spooktober. Farewell. Yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, cool. That's all I got. That's it. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed, and take care. Keep being awesome. Bye.